So it was quite a smooth transitional phase. The marketing, like you say, did its job. We agreed terms with the buyer. Now this is probably quite a big part that a lot of people sometimes forget. And I would personally, from experience, suggest that this is the bit that causes the most stress, is that point from once the sale is agreed to getting to exchange of contracts. Mm-hmm. What was the experience like there?
I was pleasantly surprised because I've bought and sold properties, both to live in and to rent out at times. And it was the first time that I'd got like a dedicated sales progressor.
Okay.
Nicole would come speak to the buyer solicitors, speak to me, speak to my solicitors, and just so that things didn't stall. You know, sometimes you get solicitors, mine is fantastic and she responds immediately. Sometimes you get solicitors that, oh, I'll put that on my desk and it'll stop there for a week, and you know, all the time you're waiting for that. But you know, she was just going between the two of us, making sure, oh, that's been sent, have you received it? And the buyer knew his solicitor had got it, so you're just aware that things are moving. They've just not stopped like they can do on some sales.
Yeah.
And it was just good to get that in between yourself and the buyer or the buyer solicitors.
And that kind of liaison that keeps the, like you say, the wheels turning, the motion. Now, we did talk about this briefly before we came on camera, and I think it's quite relevant because there's always, it's very, very, very rare that we have an experience of a transaction where it's completely hassle-free. There's always somewhere along the line a bit of a bump in the road. And the same was true of your transaction. There was a slight issue that came up connected to the title on the property, and you shared with me, and it'd be good to kind of get you to reshare if you wouldn't mind, how Nicole's part played and had an impact on that challenge. Mm-hmm. So there was an issue with an overage attached to the title.
Yes. The problem was not with yourselves or anything to do on your side. It was land registry.
Yeah.
Trying to get there's an overage, which means if we were to get planning permission on the back garden or the adjoining paddock, the previous owner for another 4 years was entitled to a percentage of the uplift in value. And where the house is built, that was removed when we purchased this in 2014, but it remained on the garden and on the paddock. But land registry, when the solicitor sent everything in, the guy came in to say, actually, you can just cancel it. There's only 4 years left. I don't want the money. I'll cancel the overage. So he came in, signed it. Everything went to the solicitors. They removed all that. But when it came back, somehow they'd left it on where the property's been built.
Despite
even though
the fact
it was removed in 2014.
Right.
The solicitors kept going to and from, full emails, proof, this, that and the other, and we didn't seem to be getting anywhere. And all the time this was going on, I'm a bit concerned that the buyer's going to get cold feet and pull out. Oh, this is, we don't need problems with titles and things. Because, I was aware that he'd had problems with titles and when he tried to buy previous properties. So the fact that Nicole was talking to him and he was fully aware of the situation, and she was telling me, no, he's quite all right with it. He understands. My solicitor was, after getting exasperated, trying to get them to accept they'd made a mistake. They wouldn't. We got the guy in that then did another release on the property, so then everything was clear, we can go. Because all the other little things had been ironed out, along the way that you get with solicitors. Have you got this certificate? Have you got that certificate? We were just waiting on that one thing. So once that was ironed out, we exchanged and fixed the completion date.
And the issue was resolved. And like you say, the buyer, I was nervous. Being totally honest, I think I recall us having a conversation. But Nicole did do a fantastic job of keeping him updated on what steps were being taken. And I feel, and I think you will agree, that interaction there was very much what kept him in play.
Yes.
Especially given his previous experience. So, an interesting one. And I think it's really useful feedback to offer because a lot of people go into the process of selling and think, well, we'll just pop it on the market and we'll attract a buyer and then everything's plain sailing.
Yeah, you sort of think that, an estate agent's job is to put it in front of people, agree a sale, and then there you go, deal with the solicitors. but that certainly wasn't the case. They, you know, the sales progressor Nicole just kept the thing moving to ensure that it did ultimately end up in completion and well, exchange of contracts with, you know, completion date set.
Wayne, really appreciate you taking the time to do this for us today. It's been an absolute pleasure, and good luck with the move.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.